All right, before we begin, let's get a little sip here. Oh, no free ads. So I'm 31 right now, going on 32. And I've tried a little bit of everything under the sun as far as fitness goes. But there's one thing that has been the best for me, and that's CrossFit. And I joined a CrossFit gym about 3 years ago, CrossFit Magna, thanks to my buddy Shook hounding me for it seems like months to just go in and try it, right? I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that thing. Like it just seems like, it seemed like something that it's like, oh wait, they don't do bicep curls? Like what is this place? But anyways, I walked in the first day and Brian, the owner, was there, and he was just like a super nice guy, super down to earth, loved Notre Dame football. So we instantly had a rivalry because I'm a Pitt guy. And it was just really cool because he was helping me out and was there for me, teaching me all these like new things and new terminology and how to move properly and all of those things. What's really cool with my filmmaking journey is I'm also able to utilize everyone at CrossFit Magna and help them out, right, by providing them with like a video and things like that, but also better myself and learn some new skills and just get some general practice. So I'm gaining experience on my end of like, okay, like here's how athletes move and here's how you would capture somebody in a gym setting and all of those things. So it's been a great trade-off for me, and it's something that I definitely want to continue here in the future for sure. Had a great opportunity recently during Memorial Day weekend. And for those that aren't familiar, Memorial Day weekend is typically a weekend where CrossFit gyms across the United States and I guess the world as well will do hero workouts. And hero workouts are a way to honor the men and women that have fallen in the line of duty. With CrossFit Magna, they do the hero workout Murph, which is a mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and then 300 squats, all wearing a 20-pound vest, or I think it's a 14-pound vest for women. But hey, we're here to talk about the film breakdown of this event. So let's go ahead and dive on into that. What's really funny about the opening scene is that my buddy Jake is also a videographer, right? So he kind of knows how to play up to the camera and things like that, but this is completely unrehearsed, spontaneous, and I always love throwing spontaneous random things into the actual video itself because it makes it feel more authentic, right? It's not rehearsed. It doesn't have the most perfect lighting. He's not framed amazingly, none of those things. But what he says in the exchange that we have sets the tone for the entire video, right? You get a sense of, okay, where are they? What are they doing? And what's next?
Yeah.
The next couple of shots are me laying the groundwork, right? We're establishing that we're at CrossFit Magna, the gym. We're showcasing different members and their interactions, getting warmed up, all of those things. We're showing every different walk of life because CrossFit Magna is a community of just all different types of people, right? And it's really great to see all the different individuals there and make sure that they, because they're about to do a very hard workout, right? And then also another very important point, and why I included Brian saying, oh, he's mic'd up. He's talking about Coach Cole.
He's got a microphone on. This is fantastic.
This is kind of like foreshadowing because then you hear a voiceover from Coach Cole.
There is a warm-up on the board. Okay, you guys
describing the workout to the class, describing the warm-up, and setting the structure for what's going to happen the rest of the day. Without that clip in there, you don't know who's talking, right? You don't know, oh, that's Coach Cole because Brian just said Coach Cole's mic'd up, right? You have no idea. Next, it's very important getting everyone putting on the necessary equipment. So we have people putting on their vests. What I wish, looking back, something I wish I would have got is, people putting on their shoes or lacing up, so to speak, or things like that to also get ready. I ran short of shots of people getting ready. I was almost so focused on getting set up for what you're going to see is everyone rushing at me. So making sure that you have enough shots at the very beginning to set the tone. I think I could have done a little bit slower of a pace at the beginning in order to establish a little bit more suspense and to make sure that we cover all the bases as to what's going to happen. So as you saw Kreider's little wink there, it's very important to make the person that you're filming very comfortable. What's really great about the CrossFit Magna community is I know all of these people, right? I've been working out with all these people for years, whether it's the people at the 5:30 a.m. class, the 3:30 p.m. class, whatever, right? So now that they're comfortable with me and I'm comfortable with them, they'll give me a little bit more on their end, right? They're like, oh, it's just, me walking around, not like some stranger trying to get them in a weird moment, right? There's a little bit more of a trust factor. So with Kreider, There were some stuff that we didn't use, but we did use that as a good way to transition from everyone warming up and kind of like a funny little like add-in there, because I love throwing funny little add-ins. Next, we have everybody outside. And this is when things get a little bit complicated, right? Because we have the darkness of the inside gym. We don't have all the lighting, all of those things. And then outside, we have this bright sunlight in the middle of the day with all of these white walls and white buildings all around that are just bouncing off that sun. Luckily, I have a polarizer. For those that don't know, polarizer is sunglasses for your lens, right? How I would have changed things, some things are a little bit more overexposed and a little bit too bright. So that's just something I need to work on moving forward. But it was a good experience being able to shift from a darker environment to a really lighter environment. Also, fun fact, I have no idea how no one hit me because I never told anyone I was going to stand there. They just kind of like moved in and out. It's phenomenal. As another way to add some audio in, I actually asked Presley, who is a coach at CrossFit Magna, to take some of her interview she did with Brian, the owner of CrossFit Magna, talking about Murph, the workout that everyone's doing.
You've owned CrossFit Magna, is it 10 years, 11 years?
Whoa, give me some credit, 12 years now.
She was super cool about it, which I love. Thank you, Presley. And we were just able to pull some little key nuggets from that interview that helped explain what is happening in the workout, right? Because when you're seeing this video, if you don't know CrossFit, you don't know CrossFit Magna, you don't understand the significance of Memorial Day weekend in the CrossFit community or any of those things, you're like, what is going on here? This just seems like a weird highlight video, right? So this gives you the structure of what the workout is, what to expect, and then also gives you a little preview into, Brian's personality as a gym owner, which I always say you as an owner reflects on your community as well. And then we transition to inside. So I thought it was really important to gather some individuals as they enter back in. What's really interesting here is you got three heats, might be 4 heats. So 4 different start times of individuals that are starting their workout. So they're starting with that mile run. So you really have to make sure that you have coverage of every single unique individual that's going on that mile run, right? Or shouldn't say every individual, every group, right? So it doesn't seem like you're just following one group around or following one person around. I was transitioning a lot from inside to outside, just grabbing footage. But anytime that I went inside, obviously ripping off the polarizer, ripping off all of those things to make sure that we have the proper lighting and exposure, which I still feel like I didn't get absolutely 100%, something I can definitely and need to work on. So with all these shots, we're also trying to add depth, right? We want something in the foreground, we want the main subject, and then we want something in the background. What's really great about the setup at this gym is that you have a lot of space, right? You're almost in I would say a warehouse. So it's really cool for me to be able to pull in some things like there's individuals squatting and things like that. There's bars in the foreground, or there's a water bottle in the foreground, whatever it is, right? Just ways to add that depth and make things look visually more compelling. I'd say the other point of feedback that I'd give myself is a little bit more detailed shots, right? We have a lot of people doing the workout, but we don't have people chalking their hands. We don't have people, doing push-ups, and then you can this sounds gross, but it actually is pretty cool. Whenever they have sweat coming down, we don't have a lot of detail shots. It's mostly just people's entire body. So that's something that I would probably have done as well. And then we end with another fun moment of Coach Evan asking if there's any bats in the cave.
Do I got any bats in the cave?
I didn't want to tell him, but I think there might have been. Anyways, it's another great way to break things up. It's a great way to add some personality, some humor into it as well. And then things start to slow down as people are finishing. We just show some group shots and things like that. The one thing I wish, and what it would have been a better ending, instead of throwing up photos, because I kind of ran out of footage, to be honest. I didn't do great with the ending coverage there, but I would have had the camera recording everyone getting ready for that big group shot at the very end. And then, because there's typically people are joking with one another, pushing one another, saying things and stuff like that. It's just a fun way to end it, and then everyone stops and poses, and then that could be the end of the video right there. But yeah, overall, super happy with how it turned out, especially with the different lighting that I had to deal with that day. I've already shared some of the things that I would change for next time, and I definitely will. But overall, I think really? This is definitely a first. Hmm.